Welcome to a historic house that truly feels like a design time capsule, each space showcasing the top interior design trends of the 19th century, offering us a glimpse into the best of what was offered at the time. Victoria Mansion in Portland, Maine is a journey through some of the highest points of European interior design styles. It remarkably contains over 90% of its original interiors, the wallpaper, painted ceilings, carved woodwork, built-ins, lighting, furniture, and textiles, all preserved and still intact as when the original owners still resided here, making it one of the best preserved Victorian homes in America today. So I traveled across the country for this one to see why designers, architects, and historians still flock all the way out here to New England to learn from and absorb the styles and designs within this incredible home. Hi, I'm Allie, and welcome back to Fab Little Dish, where we celebrate the beauty of vintage home. If you love historic house tours and the design stories that bring them to life, make sure to hit thumbs up so this home can be shared with others. And because preservation is what keeps houses like this open, every watch, like, and share gets these homes in front of new faces, inspiring more visits and helping to support ongoing conservation and preservation efforts. Today we're in Portland, Maine, and we're doing a deep dive into each room of this gorgeous mansion to get a feel for why designers still study this place. Let's step inside the world of the Victoria Mansion. Originally called the Morse Libby House, Victoria Mansion was built between 1858 and 1860 as a summer home for Ruggles Sylvester Morse and his wife Olive. Though both from Maine originally, the Morses made their main home in New Orleans, Louisiana. Ruggles Morse made his fortune operating luxury hotels, although he also invested in many side businesses, as well as being an active participant in the slave economy that was so pervasive in New Orleans at the time. Ruggles Morse died in 1893. In 1894, Olive Morse sold the house, with most of the furnishings inside, to Portland merchant J.R. Libby. The Libby family lived here into the late 1930s and changed remarkably little of the home, which is why so much of it survives today. In 1940, the house was rescued from an uncertain future and opened to the public in 1941. Architect Henry Austin designed the house in the Italian villa style. Ruggles Morse hired Gustav Herder, a German-trained cabinet maker turned interior designer who shaped American tastes in the mid-19th century. Victoria Mansion is the only Herder commission that survives essentially intact today. That's why designers still study it. You can see his original room schemes, gilded ornamentation, intricate plasterwork, mirrored vistas, and sumptuous textiles all working as a single composition. Giuseppe Giudicini painted the lavish trompe-l'oeil ceilings and wall decoration that made each room feel three-dimensional. For its time, the house was cutting edge: hot and cold running water, flushing toilets, central heating, gas lighting, a servant call bell system, wall-to-wall carpeting, and a 25-foot stained glass skylight. It's one of those rare homes where design ambition and innovation came together. It was a home ahead of its time then, and one we all still learn from today. Step in and look up. This entry vestibule acts as the entry theater. Giudicini's trompe-l'oeil, which means paint to fool the eye, frames the ceiling with scrolling vines and faux panels, so a flat surface reads like carved plasterwork. Below it, the original gasolier hangs like a jewel, and that narrow stained glass window throws blue and ruby bands across the brownstone. A spectacle of craftsmanship, color, and light before we've even walked inside. The entry opens into a soaring stair hall where carved wood, painted plaster, and shifting daylight all play off one another. Giudicini's little tricks on the eyes are everywhere here. Faux marble panels, shadowed moldings, hairline gilt borders, flat walls suddenly look like rich marble, polished walnut and mahogany, even carved stone, except it's all paint. And yes, they could definitely afford the real thing here. The point was the craft. Mimicking marble and wood was the spectacle, showing off skill and taste, not just materials. The staircase is a showpiece in itself. Overhead, a long stained glass skylight washes the hall in color, so the whole space changes by the hour depending on what time it is. It's these details that really set the stage for what we're about to see here. A visual journey through European style, from Rococo to Renaissance Revival to Gothic, letting you actually feel how design shifts when you move from room to room. This is the formal front parlor, and it's easily the most French room in the house, and my favorite. Here we're in full Rococo revival mode. The walls are wrapped in these huge painted panels with curving frames, little putti, scrolls, and ribbon work, all outlined in soft sea green and gold. The chandelier feels like it's hanging from a cloud instead of a flat surface. The furniture keeps that same curvy, romantic rhythm. The tuft sofa, the delicate side chairs, even the marble mantle with its carved ornament all echo those S-curves and shell shapes. Gilded mirrors bounce the gaslight around the room, so at night this would have felt bright and sparkling, but still very flattering and elegant. It's formal, but it's also meant to be a little dreamy and theatrical. Through the arch, you can see one of my favorite pieces in the whole house, the Herder cabinet. It's made of maple and rosewood, covered in carved, painted, and inlaid details. Together, the room and the cabinet are a great example of what Herder does so well: architecture, furniture, and decoration all speaking the same language and working harmoniously with one another. And this is the music room. It keeps that French Rococo revival story going, but in a softer, more intimate way than the main parlor. The walls are still framed like artwork, painted panels, gilded ornamentation, and another incredible marble fireplace. But the mood shifts from grand arrival to settling down. This whole room feels like it's been lifted straight out of 18th century France, very Louis XV at heart, translated through Victorian eyes. The chandelier is spectacular, gilded branches curling out like leaves and vines, topped with a little cluster of putti and foliage that almost looks like a tiny sculpture hanging in midair. When it's lit, the globes throw this soft white glow over the gold and up onto the painted ceiling, so the whole space feels warm and almost dreamlike. Along the walls, those tall gilded mirrors do what French design does best. They act like extra windows, elongating and brightening the space. They bounce the light back into the room, double the view of the carpet and ceiling, and make this already grand space feel even taller and more theatrical. It's a space designed for performances and for listening, where you can imagine the family and their guests gathered in small clusters, taking in the music, talking in between pieces, surrounded by color, texture, and just enough sparkle to make every night feel very special in here. Here, we're stepping straight into 16th century Italy. The dining room is pure Renaissance revival. The American chestnut paneling feels like the inside of a small palazzo. Pilasters, arches, entablatures, and all these architectural frames surrounding the room. Even the furniture matches the space. The chairs and sideboards are more upright and structured rather than the curvy Rococo pieces we've been seeing. Lots of symmetry, carved motifs, and crisp classical detailing instead of those shelves and curvy scrolls. Gustave Herter started as a cabinet maker, and his skilled craftsmanship is clearly evident here, especially in those sideboards. These weren't meant for actually serving dishes, they're meant for show, to show off his craftsmanship, and they serve as a place to display the family's best china and silver. They're highly decorated and almost monumental. The tall, narrow glass back sections widen the room and bounce light back and forth once again, a tiny little nod to Versailles' Hall of Mirrors. Pediments, arches, tall window surrounds, mirroring the house's Italianate exterior so the whole room reads calm, formal, and grounded. Naturalism was huge during the Renaissance, and you can see it here all in the details. Carved wooden foliage, patterned textiles, rich colors, tying all of the abundance in the room together in a cohesive and harmonious way. Once dinner wrapped up, the women drifted back to the parlor, and the men stayed behind in here to smoke and chat. So this room's abundance and almost masculine feel is intentional. Everything is meant to impress, and the little details can only truly be appreciated when you're just sitting in here, cocooned in this little space. And here we are in the library. Here, the design shifts to Gothic revival, quiet, moody, and scholarly by design. The built-ins read like architecture itself, walnut cases with pointed arches, slim columns, and those repeating trefoils and quatrefoils that pop up on doors, chairbacks, and cabinet fronts. It's a rhythm, not just a pattern, that flows from one piece to another. And look up, the ceiling keeps up with the same language. Plaster ribs and little bosses create a shallow vault, and even the gasolier echoes the curves so the light belongs to the room. The work table and the side chairs are oak, sturdy, honest, perfect for a space meant for reading and reflection. And let's step onto this red runner and look up. This is the house opening all at once. The gallery wraps the stairs like a balcony, with turned balusters and walnut door surrounds that feel almost architectural. Daylight pours down from the long stained glass daylight above, so the palette shifts hour by hour, soft in the morning, golden by late afternoon. Giuducini is everywhere up here. Painted plaster, slim gilt lines, little flourishes that make a flat wall read like a carved work of art. The ceiling is a mix of brackets and molded panels, so your eyes keep traveling. Then, that tall drop gasolier meets you at gallery level, tying the floors together with a warm glow. What I love most about this space is how intentional the views are. Mirrors and doorways lining up across corners so you're always catching a reflection of the doors below or a peek into the next room. It's the hinge of the whole house. Public rooms behind us, private rooms ahead, and this airy landing stitching everything together in light, pattern, and craft. Now we're stepping into one of the most unexpected spaces of the house, the Pompeiian bathroom suite. It's tiny, but it has a lot to say. The walls are painted in that classic Pompeiian red, with thin dark lines and small floral details keep everything crisp, so even in this little room, everything still feels intentional. The tub is a built-in and metal lined, wrapped in wood paneling, so it almost reads like a piece of furniture that is one with the room. You've got patterned tile underfoot, shutters filtering the light, and original fixtures mounted right into the painted walls. This is Mrs. Morris's bedroom. It feels quieter and more personal than the other rooms downstairs, but the design is just as intentional. Rich textiles, flattering light, and classical details wrapped around the everyday routines of getting dressed, writing letters, and winding down for the day. Giudiccini's work is very evident in here too. The ceiling is painted with soft clouds and painted medallions, and the long wall panels that once held more elaborate decoration are still here. Some of the paint is worn and coming off, and the museum has left this visible on purpose. It's a reminder of all of the preservation work that has taken place and all of the preservation work that will continue to take place for this house to be enjoyed by future generations to come. Preservation work never ends. This upstairs sitting room feels the most New Orleans in style to me. The palette is richer and moodier, olive walls, dark polished wood, and that icy blue Tufts sofa that looks like it was pulled straight out of a luxe 19th century hotel parlor, which makes sense because this is exactly the world Ruggles Morris knew in New Orleans. Grand lobbies, statues on pedestals, very French in design and elegant in style. Every surface is doing a little something here. A heavily carved center table meant for letters, tea, or an after-dinner chat. Giudiccini's painting is quieter in here, more soft washes and framed panels than full ceiling spectacles like we've been seeing. So the room feels more cocooned rather than showy. It's easy to picture this space as more of a private retreat upstairs, one where you can get away from all of the elegant glamour and entertaining that is occurring downstairs. It's still elegant, still very French influenced, but closer to the kind of intimate sitting rooms you'd find in the best New Orleans houses and elegant hotels of the time. This is the red bedroom, Morris's main upstairs bedroom, and it feels more like a private kind of showpiece. The colors shift warmer and deeper up here, brick red wall panels, soft stone neutrals, and patterned borders that feel a little more classical, almost a blend between Louis XIV and XV styles, compared to the airy pastels in the French rooms we saw downstairs. Giudiccini's hand is everywhere again here, painted ceiling patterns with little landscape medallions, borders that frame the bed wall like a built-in headboard, and wall panels that turn flat plaster into something that feels layered and architectural. And then there's my favorite part of this room, the marble-topped double basin built right into the furniture. You have running water, 2 sinks, and a full French porcelain vanity set, all tucked into one space. Gas lights on either side of the mirror so you could actually see what you're doing. The curves in the wood and the little carved details nod to French Revival tastes. Think Louis-style shapes filtered through mid-19th century America. For the 1860s, this would have felt incredibly modern. A glamorous bedroom and a private washing area, all combined in one suite. I'm again seeing echoes of elegant hotel touches that we're seeing in the Morris's private home. It feels very cozy, lived in, yet elegant. Here, we're in the Turkish smoking room. This isn't truly Turkish as much as it is a 19th century fantasy of the Ottoman world. Every surface is working together here. Interlocking red, green, and white motifs on the walls, gilded lattice panels, and that incredible painted ceiling that almost feels like a woven textile overhead. Color isn't just random in this space, it is deeply intentional. Rich reds and greens are framed in gold so the shapes almost pop out of the wall. The seating is low and cushioned, meant for lounging, and the gas chandelier keeps the light soft and a little mysterious. It feels like a tucked-away retreat at the top of the house, somewhere you can imagine after-dinner cigars, brandy, and long gossip-filled conversations carrying on late into the night. Floors worked quietly behind the scenes. Think servant bedrooms, linen and trunk storage, and the kind of day-to-day spaces that kept a house like this running. These houses wouldn't last a day without the people that acted as the blood of them and kept them running. From Rococo elegant parlors to Gothic revival studies and even a Turkish smoking room upstairs, this home has it all. It's a design showcase for us all to learn from and weave into our own tastes and styles. If you enjoyed this historic house tour and design time capsule walkthrough, please give this video a big thumbs up so more people can find it, and subscribe for more historic house tours coming your way. Until the next one, my friends, keep celebrating the beauty of vintage home. Au revoir.